October 7, 2023, Derek asked a question about, did we have any contact with any of the leveler guys? And the answer is yes, to some degree. Early on, Ken went to visit Larry in Phoenix or Scottsdale, wherever he was. And I spoke to Larry on the phone a number of times. Also spoke to Bradley C. Miller, who did the engines, was in charge of the test cell and that kind of stuff. The one I would like to interview still is Shane. So Shane, if you're out there reading this, listening to this, hit me up. Shane was a young kid and was Larry's right-hand man. I'm guessing, my recollections, he was 18 or something at the time, but he was into a lot of things with them. So yeah, we got a bunch of pictures from Larry also. Maybe I can go through some of the pictures. That might be fun to go through some of the pictures that we have of the building of Blind Man's Bluff. That's kind of cool. So the other question from Derek was the laid back canopy and with the bubble on the back, right? And so the story I know is that Larry he was concerned about a bird strike, right? He's an IndyCar guy going 200 miles an hour, and they're talking about going 400 miles an hour. So he was worried about a bird strike, which led to a chromoly tube in the front of the leading edge of the vertical, which caused the airfoil not to work and that kind of stuff as the way they built it. They had a couple of good metal guys, I think, that knew what they were doing, but nobody understood the airfoil part of it. But that's not the purpose of this story. This was the laid back canopy. So he laid that thing way back down flat. And he was also enamored with the 30s racers and the way they looked. That's why they flew out of the back seat, is because that's the way to Larry that it looked like a racer should be. Nothing more, nothing less. So he did that. He built the canopy very flat. And then when they put the bubble on, you couldn't shut the canopy. There was just no way to shut the canopy over the pilot's head because it was just too low. So he called up and you're 2 weeks to Reno kind of thing. And mind you, they're a year early. They were aiming, as far as I know, they were aiming for Reno 88, hence the number 88. And they ended up going in 87. And so they're 2 weeks to Reno or maybe even less, and the bubble doesn't fit. So shit, he calls up the bubble guy and says, make me a new one a couple inches taller. Just put a bubble on it, whatever it was. And I don't know how many it worked out, 3 or 4 inches taller. He said, just make it up. And the guy's like, what about? And he says, I don't care. Just make it work, make it taller. And with the same beginning and end points. And I need it now. And so that's what they did. And that's what it looks like. And that's the bubble that they had. And once again, they didn't get to follow along with different generations. The airplane, they hammered it together for one Reno, and they were a year early. And that's all we ever know about the airplane, right? Because it went away after that. So that's a shame. But anyway, that's the way the canopy was. He wanted it real low for bird strikes. Cheers.